now that we know how to look at how many level starts we've had per level, let's look at how many users have actually reached each level.
Yes.
So this one's pretty easy. We can essentially take the same query we had before and just adjust it to, instead of look at how many times we've seen a level start, we just want to say how many individual user IDs have we seen on the level instead.
So you need to get the Cognito ID or the client ID? Yeah, Cognito ID.
Cognito ID. So I am going to borrow most of this query and then comment out these bits here, which is control / and then just put star so I can see everything, and find the client ID, which is under client. So client.client ID, client.client ID. Then we'll bring back in everything else that we had, except for count. I don't want count. And we'll get rid of star. Seeing as I don't want the count, I may as well just get rid of it altogether and then run this query. And we go, hooray, we have the event type. That's not correct. Whoops. Put the comma there, and now we'll get the... There we go. It's weird that it actually ran
that. No, I get it, because it casted the name of client ID to event type.
Yeah.
I see.
Whereas now we're saying, hey, get me the whole actual
That's
thing.
quite funny.
Yeah, had me confused there for a bit. Anyway, so now we can see how many times we have had the client ID and how many times we have seen level start for what level and what version. I think we might need to count for this one, actually. We might need to wrap this one in a CTE. Let's switch over to
Can we just... Yes. Group by client ID?
Hopefully, that's what I'm thinking we should be able to do. So we'll put level name, level version, and we'll say client ID into values, and we'll say, hey, how many times have you seen that client ID? And we'll apply it. And that would make sense for it to say it's seen 117 times. It's saying, I have seen this 117 times. But we say, no, we just want the distinct versions of it. So we actually want to go distinct client ID. So that'll go, hey, get me the distinct thing combinations of this field. So if we switch back to raw mode, we can see that this row is essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
And so if we run a distinct over it, it'll say, well, we've got all these ones, so only return it to me once.
Does that distinct all the possible combinations of... So, like, let's say if event type was different.
Yep.
Then that'd be a new row.
There will be a new row.
Okay, so it's distinct over all of these instead of distinct over client ID.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yes.
So even though down the bottom here, well, if we look at our first guy, 3DD3, we can see it's got level 2 version 2, level 2 version 1, and then level 1 version 1 and 2. So you can see how many times we have now seen, or we can now run our count over our client ID and say, hey, how many times have you been seen against level and level name?
Cool.
Run that and plot it. And what do we have here? Level name, level version, count of client ID. So the aggregation is count. That's the important one, and it's aggregating based on, it's doing the count of client ID. Apply that, and it goes, all right, so what levels have we seen with what? So there was that time when we had, I want to do one more thing here, which is order by level name. So if you've got your data here you've got your select statement happening, it's not going to order this in any particular style unless you tell it to order. So order by level name, which is not level name, it's actually attributes.level. No, it is level name, because after it's been selected from here, it becomes level name.
Yeah. Flip.
There we go. All right, so we have seen level 1 has been seen by 5 different clients, which makes sense because we put it onto the 5 EC2 servers, and then we had the 4 EC2 servers and this computer that we're recording on. Level version 2 has only been seen on this computer.
Yes.
Level 2 has only been seen by this computer, and level 2 version 2 has only been seen by this computer because we didn't put these we didn't have the tracking set up correctly on the other EC2 servers. They didn't actually get to level 2. All we did was just turn on the app and say, hey, send events.
True. Yep.
So now we can see how many individual users are reaching our levels. Not just how many times are they starting the level, or not just how many times has each individual level been started, but how many unique users have reached each level itself. And with that, unless you have any questions, Nick, that will finish off this video.
No.
No questions. Great. Let's move on to the next one.
Sweet.